you're a very entertaining person, and are you and funny person. Did you ever consider stand-up comedy?
Yes.
I know it's a different one, but it's a different breed.
Never ko siya ginawa.
Kasi,
Medyo takot din ako. I think that's one of the hardest things.
Yeah.
Hardest arts, yung stand-up comedy.
it's like you're trying to make people crack, but at the same time, there's really science behind it na parang pinag-isipan mo siya. Pero kailangan natural lang labas.
Oh,
Diba?
pero tsaka may expectation eh. You go to a stand-up comedy show, gusto mo tumawa.
Yeah.
So kailangan, kung sino man yan, maging funny ka. Kasi, punta ako dito para matawa.
Our guest for today, guys, is a DJ, a podcaster, a comedian, and a host. Please welcome Samir Gona, a.k.a. Sam YG! Yes!
Grabe, hindi ko in-expect na mga 300 yung audience natin.
Of course!
Today.
Look, oh!
Jam-packed studio, but thanks for having me on
The
the
seats
podcast.
are 300.
Grabe. Oh.
So, wait, username, has anyone called you Samir? Because
Yun.
that's your,
Yung Samir, pag tinawag kang Samir, malamang parents ko tatawag niyan.
Yeah.
At may kasalanan
Pamilya.
ako. Diba? Pag full name ka ng parents mo, malamang may ginawa kang mali.
Oh, nga.
But in general, people who call me Samir would be my boss sa Magic. And, yun lang, my mom, my dad.
Cool.
How about the boss of the house now? Your wife?
Sam.
Sam, babe.
Yan.
Pag galit, ganun. Hindi ka
Yun
tinatawag na
Sam
Samir?
Sam
Wala.
na.
Only
Sam
the mother
yari.
has
Nag-evolve
that
na.
privilege.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
You know, nakikita ko sa social media mo, lagi kang biyahe.
Oo.
Everywhere. Did you just arrive?
Oo.
Yeah,
Galing
right
pang
now, I
flight.
came from QC from another shoot.
Oo.
Pero there are a lot of travels, either for work or for vacation. So pag vacation, kailangan i-plano way ahead. Kasi yun nga, people book me for events
Yes.
2 years in advance, 1 year in advance.
True.
So, especially pag wedding.
Yeah.
So kailangan medyo before that, ma-block ko na yung dates if I'm gonna have a vacation.
FYI, I booked him for my wedding. 1 year ahead!
Wow.
Pero book!
Book!
Pero
Oo, sarado.
pumasok.
Or hindi, joke lang.
Hindi tinamaan ng travel.
Sarado.
Hindi ito naman. October 10. Yeah. Grabe. Pero if you were to be at my wedding, I would have one request. Baka hindi ka rin pumayag.
Ano?
I would have you dye your hair.
Bakit?
Back to
To the blonde.
Oh, meron palang blonde
Disney
era.
theme kami eh. Disney theme. So yung mga prince, diba?
Yung blonde kasi, trip ko lang mag-blonde kasi wala pa nakitang Bombay na blonde. Kaya sabi ko para maiba, diba? Let's do something different.
Yeah. So, malamang, you'd look like if you were to be there, have you ever tried it though? Yung dressing up as a character.
Oo naman.
Okay.
There are events that would require a theme or a character. Of course, I have a character, Shivakar. Diba? Na medyo, the typical Indian guy wearing a turban. Aside from that, there would be events that would require themes, costumes. So I do that, let's say, for a brand that I hosted a couple of months back. Yung theme nila, Greatest Showman. So
Oh, cool.
I had to, get an outfit together. That
Bearded woman, gano'n.
diba? Medyo pasok sa theme.
How about a wedding? I was curious. Have you ever done that for a wedding?
Wala pa.
Okay.
Wala pa
Yung
for a
themed,
wedding.
no?
Yeah.
Sabagay.
I know you do that a lot. Yeah.
Themed weddings.
No. Well, themed events din. Kasi may kiddie parties mostly,
Correct,
di ba?
correct.
Meron mga ganon. But
Yun
then
ang hindi ko
also, yung
ginagawa.
mga debut, meron na din. Yung may mga costume. Hindi ka masyadong kiddie parties.
Hindi ko kaya mag-kiddie party.
Why? Kasi yung jokes.
Yung
Hindi naman
humor.
sa- Hindi naman sa humor.
Magulat sila.
Parang
Yeah.
hindi ko lang mag-grasp pa yung market. So I do everything except kiddie parties and mga lamay.
Yun. Natry ko na yun.
Yung kiddie
Pero
party.
hindi host sa lamay.
Oh.
Pinakanta lang ako.
Sa lamay.
Ang hirap kumanta kasi sasabay ng hagulgul. So, hindi ka
Diba?
na
Siyempre,
makakanta.
weird diba? Although I know somebody who hosts wakes. Yun lang trabaho niya.
Wow.
There's a market
in the
for it.
Philippines,
Have you tried that?
No. Pero yun talaga yung niya. Yung forte niya, wakes.
Grabe.
Sarado niya yung market na yun.
Grabe ah. Is there... Wow.
Because
I've never
people don't
thought that.
realize, di ba, when somebody passes away or somebody dies, the family's mourning.
Yeah.
Ang dami nangyayari.
Yeah.
So, ang dami bisita pag wake. So, minsan, hindi na nabibigyan ng proper attention or program yung dapat mangyari.
Right.
So, I think that's actually a good thing. No? Na may gumaganon.
Yeah.
Para at least the family can do what they have to do and somebody else can handle the hosting part, the program, who's gonna speak next, ganyan.
Actually.
Stuff like that.
Makes a lot of sense.
Oh, diba?
Yeah, you've done a lot of hosting. Is there any particular, country you always wanted to host in? A particular setup?
Dream country,
Dream
dream
country, yeah.
hosting gig in a certain dream country.
Maybe Paris.
Wow.
Oo. Kasi I've done Portugal, I've done US, Bangkok, a lot of other countries. Pero Paris, wala pa. I think it would be extra romantic.
Pwede, no?
Yeah nga, people fly you abroad, no? For
Correct,
those.
correct.
Is it also a year ahead booking?
Pag ganun, yeah. And especially pag if it's a country that's far away,
Right.
I have to really fix my schedule kasi hindi naman pwedeng balikan eh, diba?
Of course,
Not like a Tagaytay wedding or a Baguio wedding, kaya mo ilagari. Pero pag, let's say, it's a wedding in Europe, in the States,
Right.
Kailangan mo talaga ng 5 days, 6 days at least.
Where is the
Right.
furthest you've gone? And how was the experience?
I think the furthest would be Portugal.
Okay.
Okay rin, it was a good experience kasi it was an intimate wedding, pero everybody was enjoying the vibe, the scenario, the scene and whatnot. So that was, I think, extra special.
Yeah.
Is that the pinaka-unique you've been to as well?
Ngayon, marami ng unique weddings kahit sa Philippines eh.
Yeah.
If you follow si Gideon or si Teddy
Yes.
Manuel,
Oo.
grabe. They can transform an entire ballroom into whatever you want.
Yeah, even bring water to the venue, diba?
Correct.
Wow.
I saw one post of Gideon, parang gumawa siya ng amphitheater sa beach in Bohol. Hinukay niya yung beach.
Wow.
So that's pretty crazy, di ba?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've hosted a wedding na naglagay ng Philippines to I'm not gonna mention names. Naglagay ng chandelier sa gitna ng dagat.
Wow.
Ang grand entrance ng couple, naka-speedboat.
Damn.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy.
Crazy rich Asians.
Oo, may mga ganyan. Ano pa ba mga crazy motorcycles coming into a ballroom? Should we talk about the bad stuff as well? Or?
Pwede, pwede.
Bad stuff.
Sure.
Mga, eto, pagkatawag ko, please welcome Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so. Right when the door enters, the waiters had party poppers.
Oh.
Yes.
So they were, getting it going. Tapos, sumapul sa mata ng groom.
Ouch!
Kaka-start lang to
Oh.
Yung party popper, it was bleeding so much, they had to rush him to the hospital.
Oh my.
So,
Kaka-start
cancelled.
lang yun
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, so,
Ano to, na
one
video
of-
ba to? Nag-viral ba to?
Nakalimutan ko na nag-host ako eh.
Oh
Nakita
my
ko kasi
gosh.
naka-live feed. Sabi ko, please welcome, Mr. and Miss ganyan. Pak. Oh shit. Ayun, nakalimutan ko naka-mic ako eh.
Candid.
Oo.
So your night ended early.
Again.
Your night ended early.
Yeah.
No. Surprisingly, they were both doctors.
Oh, okay.
So, it was in Marriott, I remember. They went to Asian Hospital and he came back with a patch after dinner.
okay.
My dad's most memorable
The show
moment,
must go on.
Oh.
Yeah. One of the most memorable moment my dad said when you were hosting a wedding, he said, "Everyone stand up for the Philippine national anthem."
Oh, diba?
That was classic.
I do crazy shit like that. Kasi I think people get me for a certain reason.
Yeah.
Diba? There are a lot of hosts and iba-ibang style.
Yes.
So there are the formal ones. If it's a Chinese wedding, some people like the host to sing. Diba? Meron din gusto nila medyo mas Tagalog. Ako, I think they get me for a particular reason na medyo funny,
Yes.
Funny,
to bring
yeah.
the energy up.
Uh-huh.
And I think yun yung medyo nahanap ka na market.
What got you into this hosting?
Oh, good question. I was supposed to be a lawyer. I
Really?
took up, high school pa lang, I wanted to be a lawyer. My course was legal management in Ateneo. Walang connection sa ginagawa ko ngayon. I used to host college org parties.
Yeah.
That's so
And
interesting.
then there was one time na the guys from Magic sponsored one of the org parties. Tapos, sabi na, oy, okay ka. Why don't you try to be a student DJ? You don't get paid. All you have to do is read the announcement. St. Paul is having their fair September 23 to 25. Ganyan, ganyan. And we're inviting everybody. And that's what I did. So I was there for a couple of months, few months at Magic. They were training me. And finally, I got hired by another radio station, 99.5 RT.
Right.
Okay.
May bayad. May sweldo. at that time, 2004 or 5, was 7,500 a month.
Is that
Yes.
high at that time?
That was
I wouldn't
shit.
know. That was shit. I wouldn't know.
7.5,
Yeah,
diba?
right.
Right.
Bad, yeah.
How is it now, though?
Now,
If you
I
still-
left radio kasi a year
Yeah.
ago, no? I focused on hosting. I'm focusing on hosting. And it's, I think, a lot better. Not just because
Okay.
I get more gigs, but also because I get a couple of days off. Dati kasi masyadong dire-diretso. So I was heading towards a burnout. Sometimes you don't know it kasi you want to be everywhere every time. You want to do so many things. Pero minsan, pagod ka na pala, hindi mo na-realize.
Right.
So that's one thing that made me say, okay, I had to reevaluate what I was doing, everything that was going on in my life. And I said, okay, something's got to go. If you want to grow, you got to let go of something.
Right.
Hindi naman pwedeng, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. Yes, you could be everywhere, sunod-sunod, take all the gigs you want, take all the businesses you want. Pero at one point,
Pagod.
hindi lang sa pagod eh. Mawawala yung focus.
Yeah.
Right.
Diba? Ang dami mong ginagawa, nawawala yung focus. So, I remember circa 2013, I was doing 7 shows. Boys Night Out, Eat Bulaga. I had 2 other TV shows. I was doing MTV, 2 shows on MTV. So, every minute counted for something. And so, my last show would be Boys Night Out every day. I go to radio, nakatulala na lang ako. I'm looking at the wall. And I realized, wala na ako nahihirit na maganda. So, but I'm there.
Right.
I'm
right.
physically there. But my quality of hosting declined. Kasi I was trying to do so many things all at once.
Right.
So I think that's one lesson that I had to learn the hard way.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, going back, wanted to be a lawyer. That happened. Radio came into play. And then there was this one experience I had on 99.5. My first shift was midnight to 3 in the morning. Every day. Monday to Saturday. At about 12:45, I had a caller. At that time, wala pang talk show sa radio. It's all playing songs and whatnot. There was this girl who called. Sabi, can I request for this song? I forgot what song that was. So I played the song. She calls after 45 minutes and says, "Thank you for playing the song. That was the last song my sister wanted to hear before she died." And she passed away. I was like, shit. Kala mo lang yung ginagawa mo, wala nakikinig, wala nanonood. Pero you never know who's watching, you never know who's listening, you never know whose life you can touch. And that was my turning point. Sabi ko, that was so fulfilling. And I said, I really want to do this. I want to pursue this.
Oh, that's nice. Cool.
Galing. So,
Hindi na yung may namatay, Pop,
hindi na, hindi na may namatay.
Si Wayne sabi niya, that's nice, that's
That's
nice.
cool. That's cool
Nice,
that
nice.
you were able to inspire someone.
Yeah,
Just to make it clear.
Minsan merong breaking point, may turning
Right,
point.
right.
Yeah.
In everybody's life,
Uh-huh.
I think there would be a turning point. It doesn't, sometimes it comes in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s. For some people, 50s or 60s, then nagkaka-turning point.
Yeah.
Pandemic was a turning point for a lot of people.
Yes.
You realize na, okay, health is wealth.
Yep.
You could have so much. You could be so rich, pero pag nagkasakit ka, wala lahat.
Right.
Correct.
So there are turning points in life.
Is that why you left the boys' night out too? The DJing.
For Boys Night Out, it was more of I wanted to grow. I wanted to start a business, do something bigger, and wala nang oras eh. I don't want to start a business na my attention is divided. Gusto ko focused ako dun.
Okay. I
What
see.
is the business?
Wala pa.
Wala pa.
This year
Coming
yan.
soon.
This
Oh.
year.
Related
this
to
year,
auto?
Okay.
Related to auto?
No.
No. Okay. Cool.
Surprisingly, agriculturally related.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I have an interesting question here. When you got married, because I wasn't there, who was your host?
Oh,
Were you your own host?
no, sa wedding ko, may buffet ng hosts.
Oh.
Ang daming hosts. Radio DJs, event hosts.
Fun.
But I got Tony, Slick, and Gino to host.
Oh, cool.
Voice
Nice,
Night Out.
nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Sweet.
That's the original.
You know,
What's
the
your
return.
What's your take on weddings that give raffles? That was one thing I saw.
Weddings that give raffles. Honestly, I do it. I'm not all for being a fan of it, not also, saying that it's baduy. Kanya-kanya eh.
Depends on the crowd, no?
Oo, it depends on the crowd eh. But some people do that. Kasi raffles, medyo associate ko sa corporate shows eh.
Yes.
Diba? Sa dulo, raffle tayo, iPhones, ganyan-ganyan. I think weddings generally, it's a celebration of love. You invite people who have been a part of your life. So it's not just celebrating you guys, it's celebrating them.
Yes.
Yeah.
The people that matter.
Correct. Okay. That's nice.
So
Yeah.
if you want to give a raffle prize, do it.
Oh, and
It's
sometimes
not
the goal kasi is to keep the people up until
Correct.
the last
Yes.
point of the
And that's
to
why-
finish a program. That's
But-
I
why.
mentioned that eh.
But people would say that if they're there for you, they're
Correct.
there for you. Not
Boom.
for
Totoo
the
din
raffle.
naman.
You
Exactly.
actually just said exactly what I wanted to say. Kung nandyan sila para sa inyo, they're not after the raffle prize.
Yes.
Correct.
They're there to celebrate your love.
That's correct. Yeah.
So alam mo na, may mga guests kasi na
Oh, yeah. Totoo
ang
naman.
nag-imbita si daddy, si mommy.
Oo
mga
naman, may
ganyan. So
ganyan
medyo,
talaga.
you wanna keep them also up until the end.
Oo. For weddings, it gets tricky kasi nga,
Yes.
gusto mo may certain guest list ka. Pero syempre, add mo yung friends ng parents mo and whatnot. So, nag-expand ang list.
Right.
Nice.
Right.
Okay. We'll take a break. Here is our sponsor for today.
Oh, may small wow!
Yes,
Wow,
meron.
big
time
You'd be
tayo dito.
surprised with the sponsor.
Pucha, may
A new
bag.
era of riding has arrived. Meet the all-new Vespa Sprint Tech, where advanced technology meets timeless design. So, Vespa Philippines is our sponsor for today. You know, mayroon na siyang keyless na siya ngayon.
Oh, sino ba yung
So,
keykeeper?
effortless.
Ay, sorry. Bawal pala. No green jokes pala tayo.
Pwede yun. Next is, may TFT dashboard na. So that's for me because mahina ako sa directions.
Oh.
So you could put your navigations there. Na.
Pag Bombay kasi, alam mo na yung may utang sa'yo. Alam mo na yung bahay niya. Kahit wala pang whiz. Alam mo
Ikaw
na.
na yun. Human
Ambient
ways.
lighting. May extra glue na siya. Get yours today and all our dealers nationwide.
The best pa.
That was if I'm not mistaken, that was your first brand with us, right?
Yes.
Uy.
Correct.
Ito nga pala, ambassador nga pala ito.
Sir, ka ano ba?
2010 pa yata. ito eh.
Yun, when it started,
2009.
When Vespa started in the Philippines, I was your first ambassador.
Yes, you were. That's why we've come
Galing,
a long way na rin.
And I still have the Vespa till now.
From
You bring it to-
2009?
Oh.
I think sa akin mga 2012 yata.
No,
If I'm not
2012,
mistaken,
yeah. So we were there from 2009 to 2012.
Oo.
Then it disappeared. Then 2016 till now.
Correct.
It's still with us.
Yung Sprint,
Sprint, yeah.
first batch na Sprint.
Yeah.
Galing.
Was that your first brand year? Marami ka na nun. For sure, marami ka na nun.
First scooter,
Scooter. Oh.
yeah. Oo.
Sa
Ay, hindi,
automotive.
sorry.
American
I had a
scooter na.
scooter when I was a teenager. Pero bad to Pero yung alam mo yung, anong brand yun? Yung Dio? This was like,
Dio.
I was still a teenager.
I'm not sure what that is.
Yamaha or Honda.
Okay.
Pero smuggled.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, my dad, I don't know how he acquired
Got
it.
it.
So hindi pwede kuha ng plate number. Kasi parang alam mo yung mga Japan surplus na
So ano to sa loob lang ng village pwede pa na rin.
pang
mga-
grocery, ganun. Pero never really took it out
Yeah.
or brought it far.
Yeah. Like again, you've been with us for a long time na. Sa mga brands namin, which would you say is your favorite?
Yun.
I'd say Mini.
Mini. Okay.
Oo.
That's
Kasi it's a brand that has attitude.
nice. Yeah.
It's a brand that
I was expecting you'd say Rolls.
well, Rolls kasi may market. I mean,
Yeah.
definitely. Pero for me na may, may character and it's actually, embodies your personality. It's Mini.
Okay. I also thought you'd say GTR because when you were designing your house, I saw a GTR parked there.
I did have one before.
Oh, okay, nice.
Oo. 2018 na.
2018 unit.
Oo.
Cool.
Kumbaga yung mini parang si Sam, may market.
Oo,
Tapos
diba?
ganun, may personality.
Tapos
At dun siya
you
binubook
buy a
dahil
Mini
dun.
and you actually make it your own.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah. I'll make you try the Zeekr.
Oh, sige.
Especially the 009. Yung parating sa May. It's very nice.
Is this a van?
Van.
Yeah,
It's a van.
I've seen a
You've
post.
seen the van, yeah.
Oh.
Amazing.
We are pushing for it. I mean, marami na kaming reservations for May.
Pwede na ba sabihin yung presyo? Hindi pa.
Wag muna. Wag muna. But it can change. Alam mo naman, customs,
Oo.
etc.
Kasabay ng reveal ng business mo daw.
Oh, sabay na
Pwede,
natin yun.
pwede.
Yun.
Do you have any questions, Jasper? Because you idolize him a lot.
Oh,
right?
syempre
Hindi, si
naman. Sam
Jasper,
YG
no?
to eh.
Oh.
Talagang nag-sleeveless.
Oh.
Today, no? Para maka-flex ng konti na kanyang
Di, wala na kasi ako masuot.
Fire.
Yung mga tanong ko kaya na, Sam.
I see host a lot of events also.
Yeah. I mean, siguro coming from, we're on the same field. And of course, I really appreciate nga how you were able to find your niche, in terms of the market, no? But from amongst all the events that you host, ano yung paborito mo na yun na host?
Sa akin kasi every event, whether it's corporate, whether it's a wedding or whatever it may be, a launch, a concert, merong something special about that. No two events are alike. They can both be weddings, pero the crowd is different. The couple is different. The vibe is different. So I'd say my favorite weddings would still be pretty much close to my heart.
Yeah,
That's nice.
Till
that's
today.
like it.
Oo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a very entertaining person, and and funny person. Did you ever consider stand-up comedy? I know
Yes.
it's a different one, but
No.
it's a different breed.
Yes.
But
Ang dami nag-invite sa akin to do yung mga open mic.
Oh.
yeah,
Never ko siya ginawa.
Kasi,
Medyo takot din ako. I think that's one of the hardest things.
yeah,
Hardest arts, yung stand-up comedy.
Uh-huh.
Either you make it or you break it. Joke nga, di ba? Nung ano.
correct.
What was it?
Yeah,
What's the
I was
big
gonna
one?
ask that. Yung
Oscars ba yun?
Oscars,
Oscars, no?
diba? I mean, Joke is
Yeah.
funny as fuck. Pero wala
Ang
nung
hirap.
Oscars.
Right.
Nag-joke. So I think being a stand-up comedian is super difficult.
It's a harder discipline,
very
no?
different.
Very different. It's a
Oh.
different ballgame.
It's
Yeah.
like you're trying to make people crack, but at the same time, there's really science behind it na parang pinag-isipan mo siya. Pero kailangan natural lang labas.
Oh,
diba?
hindi, pero tsaka may expectation eh. You go to a stand-up comedy show, gusto mo tumawa.
Yeah,
So kailangan, kung sino man yan, maging funny ka. Kasi, punta ako dito para matawa.
yeah. But they
Don't-
get you also as a host because they know you're funny. Do you feel the pressure to be funny at times?
It's not always to be funny, but it's to be Sam YG.
Yeah.
I want the brand to be there. Yun nga, people get me for a reason.
Yeah.
So there's also certain expectations that come with it. So if it's a Sam YG event, a Sam YG, show, there is that pressure to deliver.
Yeah.
You
Kasi
get that pressure.
yun yung hinahanap nila. Yun yung binabayaran nila.
Have you ever had off days?
Of
I'm sure you
course,
did.
of course.
How do you deal with it?
Well, you go back to you go back to the drawing book, you go back
Right.
home, you analyze, and you see what went wrong, what went right.
I see.
Pero even Jordan, Kobe, they all have their bad days. They're the best, pero wala. May days talaga na you're too tired, wala lang talaga, hindi mo makuha yung audience. That's always the challenge eh. Kasi a Chinese crowd will be different from a Pinoy crowd.
Yeah.
Yes.
A European crowd will be different from a Chinese crowd. An American crowd will be different. So you have to know your audience. You have to know what
That's so
joke-
difficult.
That's the challenge.
That's so difficult.
And I
Ibang
have
culture.
I have what I call the first 5 minutes. First 5-minute rule.
right.
You have 5 minutes when you get on stage. Either you get them or you don't. Within 5 minutes.
That's a tip for you.
Oh, either
You know,
pagsampa mo.
yeah,
Ganun
that's
lang
true,
yan.
that's
Pagsampa
true.
mo, either mag-joke ka, whatever, you get their attention. You only have 5 minutes to do that. If you don't do that within 5 minutes, chances are, hindi na makikinig sa'yo. Mahirap na siya hilain after that.
Right.
You have 5 minutes to make or break the event.
How do you recover from that? Can you?
Of course, I
is
think
a
that's the skill you learn through the years. I've been
Yes.
doing this for like 18 years. And that's where the skill comes in.
Yeah.
You adjust, you pivot.
On the fly.
Oh,
no?
hindi naman lahat mahilig sa green jokes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hindi naman lahat mahilig sa Pinoy jokes.
Uh-huh.
May gusto ng English jokes. So, yun nga eh. The first, what I do when I get to an event, medyo inaaral ko yung tao.
Yes.
Ano ba yung linggo nila? Diba? Mga social ba to? Mga medyo mas dealers, diba? I'm sure, Wayne, you'd know, diba? Pag dealers, medyo iba rin yung language.
Correct.
So you have to, the rule for me is, kailangan mababa mo sila or mapasok mo sila sa barkada level.
Yeah.
Kasi once na nakipag-usap ka sa barkada mo, enjoy. Interesting.
Yeah.
So, I want everybody to feel na barkada tayo. Whether it's a corporate gig, whether it's a wedding, it's a barkada feel. So that's what I always try to achieve.
Yeah. It's like a
That's right.
like a normal hosting day. Like a like when you're with a guest, I guess.
Correct.
In a
diba?
podcast or DJ.
Yeah, I mean, parang you could be interviewing somebody super sikat.
Yep.
Pero pag na-starstruck ka, yari ka. Hindi naman yari ka, pero pag nag-choke ka,
Correct.
kasi na-starstruck ka, patay ka.
Yeah. Na-starstruck ka na ba?
Oo naman. I mean, I've done interviews with si Chadwick, the Black Panther, Robert Downey Jr.,
Wow.
Oh yeah.
all
yeah.
these guys. So,
Cool.
may ano, diba?
Yep.
RDJ
Naman.
kaharap mo. Si Iron Man, parang ikaw, parang,
Wow.
what the fuck am I doing here?
This is true. This is
Diba?
true.
May ganun eh.
Yeah.
So, that's where you get yourself together.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
And
Professionalism
make sure-
comes in.
Oo.
Yep.
Make sure na, and that's a challenge eh. You're talking to Robert Downey, pero paano mo siya ibababa sa barkada level?
Yun.
Yeah.
Somebody
Tama,
of
tama.
that level, of that stature, pero kailangan mo ibaba.
I'm gonna find that interview of yours
Barkada tayo dito.
with him.
Diba?
Tama.
That's
Pero tama yun, I think. Na para mas, kasi ang goal mo rin nila, especially kapag mga weddings, mag-open up yung mga tao. Diba?
Correct.
Kapag hindi mo sila barakada, parang bakit kita papansinin?
Oh,
Tama,
diba?
tama. Makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
actually. How about, could you share with us, like, if there's of course, there are off days, as we
Oh,
mentioned.
marami.
Meron ka bang isang major bubu na hindi mo
marami.
makakalimutan?
Lahat tayo pinagdaanan yan. For
sure.
Sige, kwento ko yung isa.
Go ahead.
Sige.
Krispy Kreme just launched in the Philippines at that time.
Okay, that was a long time ago.
Mga ganun din, mga 2008, 9, diba? And they got me to host the launch. So here I am, all the energy and whatnot. Sabi ko, all right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the launch of Krispy Kreme. It's finally in the Philippines. And then, to formally, welcome us to the very first branch. Please give it up. He flew in all the way from the States. The CEO, Mr. Donut himself. Yada, yada, yada. Mr. Donut, Krispy Kreme.
Oh my goodness.
Pare, sabit
Yeah.
ako doon. Sabit ako doon. I called him Mr. Donut himself.
Oh my goodness.
I was
But
like,
it's not your fault. It's Krispy Kreme's a donut.
wait
Pero,
ang context ko kasi, eto yung guy na marunong sa donuts.
Mr. Krispy Kreme
Oo,
himself
eto
dapat,
si Mr. If there's a guy who knows donuts,
Right.
Mr. Donut, siya yun.
Yeah.
I forgot that there's a brand,
Right.
Mr.
The Mr.
Donut,
Donut.
competing with Krispy Kreme.
Oh my goodness.
So sabit.
It's
So I
okay.
think-
How did you recruit?
I think, wala na. Pag ganyan, that was
Wala na.
2008.
Yun na yun.
Oh, you said it already, diba?
Right,
So
right.
he went up on stage. So I corrected it by saying na this guy knows his stuff. When it comes to donuts, just
Yeah.
ask him, diba? Alam niya lahat.
Nice.
Right.
Okay.
Yun naman
So I think
yung mahalaga
that's-
doon for
That's
the
one
hosts,
of the major
diba?
ones.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you next. In your podcast, because you also have your podcast,
Correct.
right? Ang dami mong ginagawa. You always talk about love advice,
Yun.
love giving. So, what's an advice you always take? What's an advice you apply yourself? Pinaka-importanting advice to especially like me, a new married couple.
Yeah.
I think this occurred to me like siguro last year lang or a couple of years back. Na you really have to protect your peace of mind.
Uh-huh.
Protect yourself, protect your mental health. Kasi yun yung foundation ng lahat eh. Your health, your mental health. Pag wala yung dalawang yun, medyo kalat lahat. I think that's one thing that I really learned. I had to learn the hard way, but now I'm trying to apply it. That's why I mentioned you downstairs kanina.
Uh-oh.
I try to take 2 days off in a week
Oh, okay.
just to get myself together.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Iba, I'm sure it's also difficult. I don't know. Kasi if I were you, ang dami-dami kong narinig na calls every day, iba-ibang
Every day.
advice. So, iba-ibang tao. Ano yung pinaka-weird situation na nahirapan ka magbigay ng advice? Or may times ba na hindi mo kaya magbigay because
Hindi,
hindi ko yung experience,
maraming advice na ano eh. I think ang frustrating lang yung you give advice pero hindi naman sila nakikinig.
Oh, yeah. That's
But
true.
always remember, no, it's easy to give advice pag wala ka sa situation.
Yes.
Minsan, alam mo naman dapat yung gagawin pero hindi mo magawa. Kasi pag ikaw na nandun, iba na eh. When your heart is in the situation, when you're invested, it's a different story.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I think is challenging. Madaling magbigay ng advice, pero pag ikaw na nandun, hindi mo siya masunod.
Okay. I see. We're down to our last 3 questions.
Yun.
Bilis, ang bilis ah!
Bilis.
First, I'd ask you, what do you prefer? Wedding or podcast? Wedding host or podcast?
I'd say weddings.
Okay. Do you want to ask this one? This one.
Next
I-
question.
Although magkaiba siyang format. Like podcast, something like this, I really enjoy it kasi kwentuhan.
Yeah.
You can just be yourself. Diba? Walang pressure.
No pressure.
Siyempre, like I said,
May cut pa dito.
diba, may,
Magkamali ka.
may sponsor pa. Hindi. Kasi sabi ko, like for weddings or for any event that I host,
Yeah.
siyempre, when you get on stage, may pressure nga eh.
Oo.
Na Sam YG, binayaran namin ng ganito to. Kailangan mag-deliver ito. Diba? Not like a podcast, just be yourself.
Right,
come in.
right.
Kwento, diba?
Yeah, but
May-
one you had to give up and one full time. Or one, if you had to, which do you prefer more? If you had to keep one.
Oh, I'd keep the weddings pa rin.
I see. Okay.
Okay. Pinasa sa akin ni ano yung mahirap na tanong.
Kaya mo yan. You can do
Galing
it.
to sa
It's in Family Feud.
na pala na question. So, alam natin, di ba, may 7 dwarves daw. So, from amongst the 7 dwarves, which dwarf will best describe your wife
In bed.
in bed?
Shit, hindi ko memorize yung 7 dwarfs.
Ano ba siya? Sleepy, grumpy, happy, ano pa ba?
Siguro sa grumpy tayo.
Ay! Ba't ganun?
That's funny.
Kasi pag nagising sa umaga, lagi, yung wife ko, si Esa, meron siyang ano eh, parang warm-up stage. Kailangan medyo, you know how people are. May people na, pag nag-set yung alarm, get up and go.
Yeah.
May people na mahilig mag-snooze. May people na pagkagising, kailangan ng 30 minutes, check my phone, ganyan, get my shit together before they stand up. So my wife is more of that. So pag ginulo ko siya, nawala pa siya sa wisho, so to speak, yari ako.
I see.
Lang naman pala. Kailangan lang ng ma-warm up lang.
Oh, warm up lang, warm up. Parang diesel.
Grumpy. Hindi, joke lang.
Grumpy.
Val, I was referring to you.
Grumpy.
Hindi, joke lang.
Okay, tamo.
It's a tie.
Okay. And last question is from my dad. Bakit daw ang dami mong chicks dati?
Kasi impression lang yan dahil sa boys night out.
Okay.
Boys night out, maraming babae, ganyan-ganyan. Pero, sa totoo, hindi kami babaero. Lalakero lang sila.
Yeah.
At tama. Sila may kasalanan.
Sila may kasalanan. Hindi.
Hindi lang mapigilan yung sarili nila.
I guess the show created such a big shadow
No.
on my persona na minsan, before pa lang pumasok sa room, parang, ito yung mga chick boy, ito yung mga gago, ito yung mga siraulo. Kasi that's what we portray on radio.
Yeah.
Kaya, wala ka rin masabi na, hindi ako ganyan every night, puro kami tarantado eh. Diba? I-listen to us every night, puro kagaguhan. So, I think doon na create yung image. Now, on air, off air, it's a different scenario.
Yeah.
I think, well, secret yung off air, diba? Kaya my friends would know. Pero on air, yun na yun.
Okay. Tagal na ng show niyo, no? Are you the longest running show?
With the same cast.
Yeah.
17 years.
Yeah.
Kasi
Oh,
of course,
nice.
there's
Yeah.
good times with Mo.
Yep.
There's RX, ano kay RX, The Morning Rush.
Yeah.
Right.
That's been 20 plus
Around
years.
for a long time,
As
too.
30 na yata eh. Pero different co-hosts.
Right.
Boys Night Out, 17 years, solid. Kaming tatlo.
Do you miss it?
Of course. Of course I miss it.
Okay.
But wala, like I said, there has to be room for growth.
Right.
And something has to give.
Well, what are you looking forward to this year?
Well, this year, of course, I had mentioned me and my wife, we have a startup coming, hopefully coming soon.
By when?
That's-
Which month?
hopefully mid-year, mga June.
Ooh.
So hopefully
You want me to
that.
upload this in June and you announce it here?
Podcast ulit tayo.
Isa pa, oo.
Hindi, sama
You
na
can
si
announce
Yun
Esa.
naman
it
yung
here.
ano.
Pwede,
Tama,
yeah.
tama. Masaya.
Sama na si Esa.
Yeah.
Diba? Well, sama ka. Para with the wife's episode.
Yeah.
Diba? All out.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, diba?
Pwede.
Doon tayo magkalabasan.
Doon kayo
magsalita
mag-family
ka rin,
feud,
diba?
dalawa. Oh, kayo
Anong
na yun.
problema ng mga lalaki?
Oh!
Diba?
Please, I'm sorry.
I was just saying, our first year of marriage was, I think, the rockiest.
Right.
Because
Thank you for saying that.
No.
I now have a little bit of peace
No.
for my first month. Now it's better.
because there's so much adjustments
Yeah.
you guys have to go through. And well, I'm sure for some it's smooth sailing, pero for me it was one of the rockiest. Because I host events, ganyan. I after events, siyempre, inom ka, go out. And you realize na you can't have everything in life at one time. Diba? There's a phase, a chapter for everything. So, when you live with someone, doon lumalabas yung ugali.
Yeah.
Doon mo nakikita. Hindi lumalabas. Ugali is ugali. Pero doon nakikita yung tunay na makalat ka ba? Diba? Madumi ka ba sa banyo? Do you fix your bed when you wake up? Stuff like that. Do you wash the dishes? Paano ka kumain? Maingay ka ba kumain? You will start noticing the smallest things. Yung dating cute, di ba yung parang, okay, nadala kang coffee, you trip, natapon yung coffee, oh my God, okay lang, cute mo naman. Ngayon, ang tanga mo.
Mas totoo na.
Ano ba yan? Ba't mo natapon yung
That's
kape?
very true.
Parang tanga-tanga mo naman, ba't mo tinapon yung kape?
Sayang.
Ganun eh.
Yeah.
So, the dynamics change. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's a bad thing.
Yep.
It's just an adjustment phase, but you marry the person for a reason.
Yeah.
Because, diba, through thick and thin, through the good and the bad, you accept that person. And you're not committed to the person, you're committed to the commitment
Yes.
that you made to that person. It's part of it.
Yeah.
It's part of it. The rocky phase, the good, the bad times.
Growth. Steps
You're on
in.
the right
Yeah.
track.
Growth.
You mature.
Yeah.
I don't know when. I don't know when it's gonna be when you are gonna mature, but it will come at one point. You can't say in 1 year, mature na ako. Or in 2 years, I know this person through and through. Because I read this article before that said people change every 5 to 7 years.
Oh, really?
Case in
Yeah,
point. Ano yung mga trip mo 7 years ago? What were you into 7 years ago? Could be shoes, could be diba, bags, whatever. Could be watches.
Yeah. True.
Diba? I remember there was a time, I'm sure nabutan mo na to nyo, every Sunday, people would wake up to ride their motorcycles,
Yep.
to drive their sports cars,
Yep.
fun runs. And then 7 years later,
Ayaw na.
pucha, hindi na magigising ng Sunday para lang mag-drive. Bahala
Yeah.
ka sa buhay nyo. Diba?
Totoo.
Matulog na lang ako.
Yes.
You were telling me the last time you had the long ride was like over a year ago. Diba? But that time, siguro masipag ka mag-ride. Kasi yun yung thing mo eh.
Yeah. But I had a bad shoulder.
Diba? But also,
Yeah.
things change. People
Right.
change. Your priorities will change. Your the things that you like would change. And it's part of life.
Yeah.
When we're in our 50s or 60s, we don't know ano na trip natin, di ba? Trip ba natin magtayo ng bahay? Trip mo ba? Baka ngayon you want to be in front of the podcast, in front of the camera. Baka after 5 years, gusto mo behind the scenes ka na.
Correct.
Baka gusto mo ikaw na nagpo-produce. Meron ka nalang brilliant idea. You have hosts in mind. Gawin natin to. You never know. People
Yeah.
change. So, I mean, you love the person to the core. What stays the same would be your morals and your values.
Right.
Kasi yun yung ano eh. Mag-iba yung mga trip nyo, mag-iba yung mga ugali nyo, pero your morals and your values, yun yung naka-embed sa inyo. So that will stay through and through.
Yeah.
Seryoso na, no? Grabe.
Oh, hey.
That was
So,
very good advice.
Ibang moment to, no?
Yeah. It gave me a little peace of mind.
Yes. You're on the right track.
So, kailangan ganun talaga muna. Mag-away muna tayo. Hindi, joke.
Ganun talaga. Me and my wife, every day.
It's for,
Every day. There was a point we were fighting every day.
it's for growth.
Tama. Yan. Growth talaga.
And
Like,
you guys realize, okay, compromise eh.
Exactly.
Diba? It's not just one person adjusting, it's two of you adjusting.
Yes.
You adjust to make it work. You can't just say, ikaw lang mag-adjust. Ganito ako eh.
Correct.
Hindi pwede yun.
Yeah. You must be really good at reading minds of people. Because ang daming lumalapit sa'yo, di ba, for advice. So, paminsan malalaman mo na lang rin kung may kinig to or hindi. Or, is it worth giving your time to give advice to this person?
That's true.
So, kailangan, nababasa mo na kung anong klaseng tao siya paminsan.
Correct.
Before he even speaks. No?
That's true.
Yeah. Dapat, doon tayo nag-major.
Diba? People reading.
Actually, malaking bagay yun. Alam mo kaagad, no? Alam mo na how to deal with the people.
Correct.
Actually, na-impress si Val doon. Na paminsan na-read ko yung tao before.
That's a very, very good...
Not all.
Aminin natin, may mga taong...
Before you see it pa lang, ay, ano to?
Totoo. May mga taong alam mong you wouldn't realize magiging close kayo.
Yeah.
Diba? So you guys meet parang, okay. And then down the road, you realize you guys click. Meron din mga tao na, gagamitin lang ako nito. And alam mo yon.
Yes.
But of course, not to say na hindi mo sila papansinin. Pero gets me yung vibe.
Yeah.
You
But
get the vibe.
when you say don't judge a book by its cover, sometimes you can judge a book by its cover. Do you believe in that saying?
Well,
Sometimes, not all the time, I'm just saying.
palitan natin. First impressions last.
Okay.
Yeah.
Diba?
Tama.
So that's also very important.
Okay.
True that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Grabe.
Would you like to... Hindi, alam na lahat ng IG post mo.
Oh.
Follow him at SamYG.
That's
Instagram.
right. Everywhere.
Facebook. And
Yeah.
TikTok.
Even if Instagram is not real life. Sabi na sombrero niya. The
Instagram
biggest
is
takeaway
not
for
real
this episode.
Yeah. You can follow me at Wayne Titan and you.
At Jazzbert Yongson across all platforms too.
Thank you so much for being our guest today. See you on the next.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.